Hey everyone, I wanted to share another video. This is kind of a follow-up video to a video I released earlier called it was a question. It was called, Can Even the Elect Be Deceived? I've chosen to delete that video. I feel the sentiments shared in that video were wrong and that they might have misguided some. And upon making that video, it made some factual points. I never hoped that it would discourage faith, but I found in myself it did. It created enmity between me and the leadership of the church. It created further hostility in my life. And the fruits that it bore, they were not good and true fruits of the Spirit. And I know that a seed of evil was planted within me, a seed of doubt. And we should follow the prophet. When he gives us counsel, it is from the Lord. Even when it's a hard one to understand, a hard one to do, even when it might seem wrong, we should pray for the strength and faith to follow the prophet. Because God has promised us to give us a prophet. We know that Russell M. Nelson is a prophet. His prophecies have come to pass. The home-centered church preparing us for these times when we were locked down in our houses. So many prophecies that he has given us. Things that he's been ahead of the game for. I hope that we choose to follow the prophet instead of doubting the prophet or casting a shadow on the prophet. And that's why I'm making this video. And that's why I deleted my previous video. I think of Joshua when the troops of Israel were confronted with taking down Jericho. God had promised them the land of Canaan, and Jericho was part of that inheritance, but it had great walls fortifying the city. And the Lord told Joshua very specific instructions. He said, "And the Lord said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor, and ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus thou shalt do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns, and the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priest shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up every man straight before him." Thinking about this, it seemed ridiculous. The Lord's asking us to march around this heavily fortified city at the danger of our own lives for 6 days. Who knows if there was guards up on the walls that could shoot arrows down at them, and they're meant to march around this city for 6 days and then expect that the Lord's gonna blow down the walls just because we as men blew our trumpets? We are men. He's not going to use his mighty power. He's going to work through men blowing trumpets. Not that he actually did, or maybe the trumpets didn't actually do anything. It was just their faithfulness to that action. But it's got some similarities to our current situation where it seems somewhat man-made and contrived that these people doing this specific action would bear any huge result, like blow down the huge walls of the city of Jericho. Yet that is exactly what happened when they obeyed every detail of the instructions from the prophet of God. Elijah and Naaman. Now, I think we're probably all familiar with the story of Naaman, who was a foreigner who heard about the power of the prophet Elisha to heal. He was a leper. He came to Elijah, and Elisha didn't even meet with him. He sent a servant to speak with him, and the servant told Naaman the instructions that Elijah gave to wash 7 times in the river Jordan. And oh, Naaman had some complaints. Naaman said, "That's crazy. The rivers in my country are better. That's too simple. That's foolish." Many complaints. But then his servant says this in 2 Kings 5:13 through 15. "And his servants came near and spake unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do something great, or some great thing, wouldest thou not have done it? How much rather then, when he saith to thee, Wash and be clean? Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, and his flesh came again, like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. And he returned to the man of God, and he and all his company, and came and stood before him, and said, Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth but in Israel." Who knows if we won't have a similar experience if we choose to follow the prophet today. In 2 Nephi 26 we read, Nephi prophesying of future generations of his people, and he beholds this. "But behold, the righteous that hearken unto the words of the prophets, and destroy them not, but look forward unto Christ with steadfastness, for the signs which are given, notwithstanding all persecution, behold, they are they which shall not perish. But the Son of Righteousness shall appear unto them, and he shall heal them, and they shall have peace with him." Someone commented on my previous video, I believe his name was Greentree. I very much appreciate his comments and everyone's comments. I do like discussion. I wanted to read a quote that he specifically gave me, or she, whoever Greentree is, if it was actually Greentree, if I'm remembering the name right. "Another fallacy is to believe that the choice to accept or not to accept the counsel of prophets is no more than deciding whether to accept good advice and gain its benefits, or to stay where you are, or we are. But the choice not to take prophetic counsel changes the very ground upon which we stand. It becomes more dangerous. The failure to take prophetic counsel lessens our power to take inspired counsel in the future. The best time to have decided to help Noah build the ark was the first time he asked. Each time he asked after that, each failure to respond would have lessened sensitivity to the Spirit. And so each time his request would have seemed more foolish. Until the rain came, and then it was too late. This is from Henry B. Eyring in the 1997 April General Conference. President Nelson says himself, "Please know this. If everything and everyone else in the world whom you trust should fail, Jesus Christ and his church will never fail you. The Lord never slumbers, nor does he sleep, but he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. or tomorrow. He will not forsake his covenants, his promises, his love for his people. He works miracles today. He will work miracles tomorrow. And to that I say, let us follow the prophet. And then we will be in the right.